of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shah. Fisherman of Zion back with another video through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Shabbat Shalom to those keeping the Sabbath. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Lord willing, you enduring, forsaking the flesh and the cares of this world to the best of your ability. Peace and blessings to you. Don't count this as a light thing to do. Fisherman of Zion back with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah called Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Call hello Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah, being interpreted in the Paleo Hebrew. All praises to Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shah. Yahweh, who the world understands as God, and Yahweh Shah, who the world understands as Jesus the Christ. Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Fisherman of Zion, back with another video through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. So we're going to open up real quick with Hebrews chapter 3. Not trying to be before you too long. I got to go to camp through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. So this is Hebrews chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 12, and it reads, Hebrews chapter 3, verse 12. Peace and blessings to the saints, Lord willing, that would tune in and watch the video. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 12, and it reads, Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you. Now, who's the brethren that he's talking about? He's talking about the Israelites. It's not talking about everybody. He's talking about the Israelites. It says, take heed, brethren. This is who the book of Hebrews was written to the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Hebrews 3 and 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living Most High God. So you have to take heed, because you can depart from the living Father. You can depart from the Lord due to covetousness, idolatry, due to hating your brothers and sisters, due to all type of wicked, evil deeds in these last days. There's many ways you can depart from the living Most High God, the creator of the heavens and earth. You know, so we have to take heed and put ourselves in subjection where we not straying away from the Lord, not having our mind polluted with many demonic things that this world wants us to overthrow ourselves of. That's why, like everybody says, and like the saying has been for the longest, you know, if you want to hide something, put it in the book, you know. So many things that America, Babylon the Great, has, you know, allowed to be in the front and the broad daylight, you know. They don't just put it in the book. They put it on the TVs. They put it in your music. They put it in your food. You know, they put it on many advertisements, billboards and things like that. So, you know, you have to take heed. Verse 13, Hebrews 3 and 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today. So we have to continue to motivate and exhort one another. Continue to build one another up. Continue to show love. Continue to speak the words of the Most High, because we don't know, you know, when our time is going to be cut short. We don't know when the Lord is going to take the breath away from us to not continue to read and exhortate and not speak the words of life. We got to continue to uphold this. It says Hebrews 3 and 13 one more time. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. And we know Pharaoh's heart was hardened. We know certain men's spirits was on them to be hardened, to continue to do wickedness. You know, King Saul, heart was hardened. You know, Ahab heart was hardened, you know, to continue to cleave unto that wicked Jezebel. So you don't want your mind and your spirit to be hardened in these last days. So this is why we have to speak on these precepts and to continue to dive in. Now, this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 11 through 13. The book of life plus laws and commandments, as the title says. So Lord willing, I can get into some laws and commandments, because I remember last Sabbath I wasn't able to get into some through the spirit of power of Shem Yahweh Shah, but Lord willing, we can touch on it. But I want to open up with this real quick. This is Hosea, you know. So what is the book of life? You know, when you read Revelation, you read about these things, and you know, you're trying to figure out if it's something that's just said, or if it's a real thing, if it's something up there in the heavens. Is it something that's really actually documented? You know, is it something that we're going to see when Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, the righteous, come back on earth? Is he going to give each and every man, woman, and child a book You know, what is he going to give to the heathen? What is he going to give to those that aren't going to make it? You know, the 2/3. What is he going to give to the 1/3? What is he going to give to the 144,000? What is he going to give to King David? What is he going to give to King Saul? What is he going to give to Judas Iscariot? So a lot of people may have questions and they may wonder about things they read. So it's you know, according to the Spirit of the Most High, to allow his answers to be in broad daylight for those that may have questions. Now this is Hosea chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 11, and it reads, Hosea 12, and so like I'm gonna start at verse 10. Hosea 12 and 10. It says, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So the Lord, he allowed the mighty men, not regular men, but the mighty men, to understand what he was saying, you know, to see things, to be able to understand his visions and things that he's going to do in these last days, and things that he has already done, you know. So the prophets, they gonna have visions. The men of the Lord, they gonna have visions. Even though we know a lot of people have dreams, you know, like you read about in the Apocrypha, you know. And I'm gonna read this quick precept real quick, Lord willing. You know, you got your Apocrypha, like we always encourage for people to get them Apocrypha. Now I want to read this in Apocrypha, because a lot of people got dreams. And just because you have dreams in these last days, don't necessarily mean you are a prophet. And if you're a woman, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a prophetess. Now this is Sirach chapter 40, and I'm gonna start at verse 1, and then I'm gonna go down. I'm not trying to read this whole thing, but trying to stay according to the topic. Sirach chapter 40 and verse 1. It says, great travail is created for every man, as well as a woman and a child, and heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, from the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things. Their imagination of things, verse 2, Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha chapter 40 and verse 2, it says, their imagination of things to come, and the day of death, trouble their thoughts, and cause fear of heart. I'm going to jump down to verse 6. Ecclesiasticus, which is known as Sirach chapter 40 and verse 6, a little or nothing is his rest, and afterward he is in his sleep, as in the day of keeping watch, troubled in the vision of his heart, as if he were escaped out of a battle. When all is safe, he awakened and marveled that the fear was nothing. Such things happen to all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. So not every man, woman, and child, just because you have dreams, is known as a prophet. Or if you're a woman, known as a prophetess, because a prophetess is a woman that has a husband that is a prophet, a true prophet of the Most High Yahweh Shem Shah. So the mighty men of the Lord, they actually have received visions from the Lord, had dreams, had signs and wonders that he was actually doing his wondrous works. You know, so reading this one more time, Hosea 12 and 10, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. Now I want to read one more, maybe two more. Let's get maybe two more precepts. Now this is Amos chapter 3. The book of Amos chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 7, and it reads, Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, surely the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Most High God, will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So before the Lord actually brings judgment to the earth, before the Lord, the creator of the heavens and earth, actually wreak havoc, you know, upon this place, he's going to allow things to be manifest and spoken through the prophets. You know, he's going to allow the prophets to speak. Thus said the Lord, like it says in 1 Peter 4 and 11, you got to speak according to the oracles of the Most High, you know, the laws. So before judgment is being brought, the Lord has spoken by his prophets. The Lord has spoken by his apostles. The Lord has did these wonderful things because he allowed his mighty men to be able to speak according to what he was going to do. You know, Samuel, you know, before a king came forth, you know, the Lord prophesied that a king was going to come forth. Moses prophesied about many things. Ezekiel prophesied about many things, you know. So these are things that came to pass that our forefathers spoke about and are still playing out to come to pass. Now this is Hebrews chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, God Most High, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. So the Lord, he spoke by the prophets, you know, and you always had prophets here. As long as mankind, civilization, whatever you want to call it, was here. You can read that in Genesis chapter 3. You know, why do you think the sons of Adam, why you think the Adamites was hiding? You know, it's because they was hiding from the Most High, speaking, you know, and he speaks through the men of the Most High. Now this is Numbers. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12. And I'm going to start at the book of Numbers, chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 6, and it reads, and he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. So the Lord is going to make himself known unto a man by a vision, by a dream, tap into his mind. And you know, according to that prophet, like it says in Jeremiah the 23rd chapter, if it comes to pass, surely the Lord did it, paraphrasing, as you may read about the false prophets in Jeremiah 23 and things like that. So this is let's hop straight into it now. This is Revelation chapter 20. And I'm gonna start at verse 11. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 11, and it reads, and I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it. So what is these things that is being spoken of in Revelation? So a lot of times when you read Revelation, you have to stay within Revelation. So let me get this real quick. I want to bring this quick precept out. So this is stuff that the Lord is allowing John to see. And when you go back to the last chapter in John, Saint John, the Bible, the book of Saint John, you know, the Lord says he's going to reserve him to speak according to how he wants John the Revelator to speak. But I want to get this in Revelation chapter 1 verse 1 real quick. It says, Revelation chapter 1 verse 1, the revelation of Jesus Christ, as we know it to be Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, which Most High God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So he sent this, signified it by an angel, and gave it to John, you know. And let me get this real quick. Now this is Saint John, as people know it as the New Testament. Saint John chapter 21, and I'm gonna start at verse St. John chapter 21. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to you. This is St. John 21, and let me see what I want. St. John 21. I'm trying to get to the point. I don't want to be too long. St. John 21, going into the Lord telling Peter that John was not going to die because he has work that needs to be finished, being done. Now I want to get straight to the point. St. John 21, and I'm going to start at verse 19. St. John 19, so like St. John 21 and 19, it reads, this spake he, signifying by what death he should glorify Most High God. Talking about Peter, because Peter was going to die, be crucified the same way that the Lord was, but on a different way, not crucified upright. When you look into history, how Peter the apostle died, you know, he didn't die. He didn't want to be crucified the same way Yahweh Shah wanted to be crucified. And when he had spoken this, he said unto him, follow me. Then Peter, turning about, Sid the disciple whom Yahushua loved, following, which also leaned on his breast at supper, and said, Lord, which is he that betrayed thee? Peter, seeing him, said to Yahushua, Lord, Yahushua, and what shall this man do? So he said, what shall this man do? So this is what the Lord said. Yahushua said unto him, if I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to thee? Follow thou me. So he was talking about if he tarry till he come, what is that to him? You know, because Peter wanted to know what was John going to be doing. And we know John is on the island of Patmos. You know, and you can read about that right here in verse 9 when you go back to Revelation. You know, so the Lord reserved him to be able to speak about these revelations and things to be revealed. So this is Revelation chapter 1 verse 9. It says, I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation. Because the Israelites go through tribulation as well. Still going through tribulation in this captivity. Companion in tribulation in the kingdom. And patience of Yahushua Mashiach. So he was still waiting to get the kingdom too. Was in the isle that is called Patmos for the word of Most High God and for the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach. So he said, hey, I'm on the island of Patmos, you know, for the testimony of the Lord. Because we know that testimony is speaking on things that need to be prophesied by the prophets, you know, things that was already foretold to happen before it even came to pass. You know, the Lord was prophesied and told that he was going to come before he even came. You know, so John said, hey, he's in tribulation as well. And most of the time when they sent people to the island of Patmos, when you look into history, it was because, you know, there was a criminal or whatever, or they was being punished by the Romans, you know, by the Greeks. So going back here, Revelation chapter 20 and verse 11 one more time. This is the book of Revelation chapter 20 and verse 11. It says, and I saw. Now, as we already read, John saw these things by the Lord allowing an angel to be able to do things to show him and signified it by the angel. Revelation 20 and 11. And I saw a great white throne. Now, you can read about that great white throne in Revelation 19. Now, let me get this quick precept right quick. Revelation chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse 4. And it reads, Revelation 19 and 4. And the 24 elders and the 4 beasts fell down and worshiped Most High God that sat on the throne, saying, Amen, Hallelujah. So this throne is where the Lord is sitting at, you know, where the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is sitting at. So a lot of things we may be wondering what's really going on in the third heavens. If you want to know what's going on up there where the Lord is, you know, hey, you can read about it in Revelation, you know. So Revelation 20 and 12, it says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Most High God, and the books were open. So he said he saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Lord. So we know we all gonna have to stand before the Lord, you know. And when you go back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, it tells you, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 13 on down, it tells you that when the Lord comes back, he's going to allow many to be brought back to see the Lord coming back in his glory with his angels and his might, you know. And like it says in Acts chapter 1, how the Lord left, that's how he's going to come back. So a lot of people, they're going to come up out of the graves and they're going to be able to see, and even the ones that pierced the Lord, you know, these nations, these Romans, you know, Pontius Pilate, he's going to see the Lord when he comes back, you know. He's gonna be fearing and trembling again. Everybody that smoked and spit on and mocked the Lord and said all manner of evil things, hey, the Lord is gonna allow it to be played back on another level. Let me get that in Matthew chapter 12 real quick. You know, this is Matthew chapter 12. Even things that we say, you know, even things that we said in middle school, elementary school, high school, things that the Romans said to Yahushua, the Messiah. They're gonna have to make it account for that. Now this is Matthew chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 36, and it reads, Matthew 12 and 36. It says, but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. So every idle word that men shall speak. And this is what the anointed said. He said this out of his own mouth. You know, every word that man shall speak, they're going to have to give an account of it. Whether it was glorifying the Lord, whether it was glorifying themselves, whether it was glorifying a brother, whether it was glorifying this society, this wicked kingdom, whether it was glorifying a woman, whether it was glorifying an idol, whether it was glorifying their flesh, they're going to have to give an account of that. You know, and the Lord, hey, he doesn't forget anything. He didn't forget what the Israelites was going through in Egypt. He didn't forget what Emmett Till was going through. He didn't forget, you know, what our forefathers and our ancestors was going through on them slave boats, you know. Now, this is Job chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse 23. Job chapter 19 and verse 23, and it reads, "Oh, that my words were now written." So these books that you see in the book of Revelation, you know, hey, these are things that's being recorded. You know, Job 19 and 23. "Oh, that my words were now written. Oh, that they were printed in a book." You know, so a lot of things is printed in the book. A lot of things is not being forgotten. The Lord sees it. The Lord made an account of it. The angels recorded it. All the works that men, women, and children do, as well as things that I do, the Lord sees that. He's making note of that. You know, all the times that you gave alms, the Lord made a note of that. All the times that you know, committed adultery and you didn't repent, the Lord made note of that. All the times that you kept these pagan customs and you didn't want to keep the high holy days, the Lord made a note of and an account of that. You know. So going back here right quick, Revelation 20 and 12, "And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High God." And we all gonna have to stand before the Lord, you know, and give an account for what we've done. Now I want to get another precept. This is Hebrews. This is Hebrews chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse 28. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 28, and it reads, "He that despiseth Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy, who had trodden underfoot the Son of Most High God?" So yeah, you just disregard and cast away everything that, you know, the Messiah actually laid down his life to do. You know, he didn't lay down his life for us to continue to hate one another, for us to continue to sleep with other men's wives and take their possessions and not have to give back a judgment, you know, and receive judgment from the Lord. He didn't lay down his life for us to just continue to live a comfortable life and just do what we want to do. You know, it's a lot of people that's trying to underfoot the Son of God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, you know, and had counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and had done despite unto the Spirit of grace. Verse 30, Hebrews 10 and 30. "For we know him that has said, Vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, said the Lord." So we're going to have to all stand before the Lord and receive some type of vengeance that we supposed to really be getting on a higher level. You know, "Vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, said the Lord." Yahweh Shem Shah. "And again, the Lord shall judge his people." So the Lord, he's going to judge. He's the ultimate judge. You know, it's not we scared of our camp leaders. We scared of our elders. We scared if we're going to have our name put out there. You know, it doesn't matter what you're scared for or what you're scared about. The Lord, hey, he's going to be the one that judge. You know, verse 31, Hebrews 10 to 31. "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Most High God." You see that? Now it says again, going back to Revelation 20 and 12, trying not to leave anything out, according to verses 11 to 13. Revelation chapter 20, verse 12. "And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Most High God, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life." So the book of life, what is the book of life? Now, a lot of times, you know, you got to ask yourself, what is a book for? What is the purpose of a book? You know, why is a book being used? You know, why do we need a book? You know, so a lot of times in this book, you got the accounts of us and accounts that that things that we've done, as well as things when we have a book, we have to learn from things that's within this book. Because like the Lord said, he comes in the volume of the book, you know, and it is written of him. Now let me get that real quick. This is, let me get this real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 7. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 7, and it reads, "Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Most High God." So the Lord, he comes in the volume of the book, you know, and you can read about it in Psalm chapter 40 and verse 7. The Lord comes in the volume of the book. It is written about him, you know, a lot of things in here, according to the so-called Old Testament, and a lot of things in here, you know, so-called New Testament, you know, New Covenant and the Old Covenant. Now, I want to get this in Psalms real quick. Now, within this book, hey, you got things about us, the things about the elect, the things that's going to happen to the elect, you know, the things that the elect is going to overcome. Even when you read about the churches, in Revelation chapter 1 and verse 2, it speaks about the churches overcoming, and speaks about the churches, you know, not striving. It speaks about the churches, Philadelphia, and things like that. Now, this is Psalm chapter 139, and I'm going to start at verse 16. Psalms 139 and verse 16, and it reads, "Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being imperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them." So, hey, the Lord records and records a lot of things in the book, you know. Just imagine, because even our forefathers, when you read Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, they knew and had an account of their genealogies. We don't have that, you know. We name our mom, our dad, our granddad, our grandmom, you know, and a lot of people, they can't even go back 2 generations, 3 generations, 4 generations. So our forefathers, they was always known for having records and having accounts. And even in, like it says in Sirach, it says, put all in writing, you know, according to, let me get this real quick in the Apocrypha. You know, it says put all in writing. Let me get this real quick in the Apocrypha. So we had things being put and documented for, you know, for our understanding, and the Lord does that as well. Now, this is Sirach chapter 42 and verse 7, and it reads in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes chapter 42 verse 7, it says, "Deliver all things in number and weight, and put all in writing, that thou givest out or receivest in." So the Lord, he wasn't just playing when he gave that precept, that scripture to our forefathers to put down and making a note of, you know. So a lot of times we have to do that. We have to put all in writing, you know. Hey, because you never know, you know. You as a husband, you gotta document. Hey, this is my wife. You know, we've came together and made a covenant with the Lord on this day. You know, you sign it and you seal it. You know, hey, because you never know, man. Somebody might try to steal your woman. You may have to have some type of receipt, some type of record to be able to show. And if, God forbid, y'all get divorced, you know, for whatever reason, you got to put that in writing, you know, give a bill of divorcement, like it says in the law, you know. So we have to be able to document and to go over the understanding of these things to be able to have. Now, I want to get more according to the book of life. Now, this is, and the book of life, hey, you know, it's also the book of the Lamb as well, you know, because the Lord is who we got to worship. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is who we got to worship, because things was already predestined and foretold. Now, this is Romans chapter 8. And I'm going to start at verse 29. Romans chapter 8 and verse 29, and it reads. It says, "For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. So, hey, this thing is of the elect. The Lord had elected. That's why when you read Isaiah 42, it says, mine elect. You know, this thing is about the Son of Man, Yahweh Shah, Hamashiach the righteous. This thing is about the Heavenly Father and his Son, you know. And he elected many things from the foundation of the earth. Romans 8:31. What shall we say then? It's like, what shall we then say to these things? If Most High God be for us, who can be against us? You see that? Verse 32. Romans 8:32. And it reads, it says, he that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? So this thing is according to the elect. And it says it in verse 33, Romans 8:33. It says, who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? Most High's elect. It is Most High God that justifieth. So the Lord, he can justify who he want to justify. He can raise up who he want to raise up. You know. So the book that you read about in Revelation 20, verse 12, you know, it deeply, you know, it's a book about us and whoever the elect is, but on a deeper level, you know, it's also the book, speaking of the book of the Lamb, you know. Now, I want another precept. Let me get this right quick. Revelation chapter 13. This is the book of Revelation chapter 13, and I'm going to start at verse 8. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 8, and it reads, it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life. So like it, Revelation 13 and 8, and it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life, of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So the Lord, that was a big thing. You know, the most powerful thing that can ever happen on the face of the earth, the Lord, you know, coming back from being crucified 3 days and 3 nights. You know, that's the most talked about. That's the most dynamical thing that ever happened on the face of the earth. You know, because that signifies what the Lord is able to do, and him glorifying, you know, his son, him giving his son power, him showing that everybody that is of the elect is going to be able to have the same spiritual powers and things being done when the Lord comes back as well. And when these curses get taken off the Israelites, the elect, you know, they're going to have a spiritual body. They're going to come back from being dead, you know. No more trying to figure out this precept or this law, this commandment, this statute. No more being defiled, no more being tainted, polluted, and things like that. So going back to this in Revelation, so like I want to get let me get one more precept. This is Ephesians. I want to get Ephesians chapter 1. Ephesians chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 11, and it reads, I'm gonna start at verse 10. Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 10. It says that in the dispensation of the fullness of times he might gather together in one all things in Christ Hamashiach, both which are in heaven and which are on earth, even in him. Ephesians 1 and 11. In whom also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestined according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will. So the Lord set this thing up, you know, from the beginning of time that we can't even gravitate towards and understand, you know, not the time of this world, not the time of man watches and clocks and satellites and things like that, a period of 24 hours. It's not that. It's what the Lord set up from the foundation of the earth, you know. So going back to Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12, and it reads, it says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Most High God, And the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. So it says the dead were judged. You know, so you got the dead according to those that don't have the knowledge and the wisdom of the Most High God. You got the dead of those that are also in the grave that you read about in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 13. But I want to get this precept real quick. This is 2 Timothy real quick. This is 2 Timothy chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, it says, I charge thee, therefore, before Most High God and the Lord Yahweh Mashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. You know, and the Lord also said in St. John 6 and 63, I'm going to get that real quick. St. John chapter 6 and 63, and it says, St. John 6 and 63, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So the Lord, he allowed his spirit to be in the Israelites in these last days. And so what do you think is going to be on the earth when the Lord comes back? Hey, his spirit is still going to be in these Israelites, you know, especially the ones that get beamed up and have a way of escaping, getting jammed up with the lake of fire and these ICBM missiles. You know, his spirit is going to allow, you know, the elect to be saved and brought into those chambers. You know, Isaiah 26 and I believe it's verse 20, Matthew 13 and verse 30, you know, enter down into the chambers, you know, for a little moment until the indignation is overpassed, roughly paraphrasing, you know, and Matthew 13 and 30, you know, coming to my barns. You know, the Lord's barn is where he's going to store up that wheat, you know, so it won't be burned like those tares are going to be burned, you know, because he's going to separate the wheat from the tares. And the Lord is going to allow this place to be overthrown because it's wicked. It needs to be burnt up, you know. So going back to 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 1, and it says, I charge thee therefore before Most High God and the Lord Yahweh Mashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. So when the Lord appears, he's going to do another judgment. You know, he is going to do another judgment. Now, I had a precept in mind. Let me see. I believe it's in Hebrews, though. Let me see. I want to get this precept, though. I believe it's in Hebrews. Let me see. Hebrews chapter 9. This is Hebrews chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 27, and it reads, Hebrews chapter 9 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 26. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 26, and it reads, for then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. And why do we feel like us suffering for a little bit of time is so, is so, you know, so gruesome to the point where we don't want to endure. You know, the Lord, hey, he suffered from the time he came out of the womb. Mary and Joseph were trying to get him up out of there, trying to send him to Egypt, because as soon as he came out of the womb, Herod was wanting to kill him. You know, so hey, we got to understand that hey, the same thing is going to be applied to us, especially the elect. Hebrews 9 and 26 it says, for then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world, but now once in the end of the world had he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. Verse 27, and as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. So hey, after you die, hey, then it's judgment time. You know, so it's not escaping and it's not running away from things that you've done. It's not you committing suicide. You know, hey, Judas Iscariot, hey, he got to get judgment. You know, so he got to repent. You know, he got to come back and repent. You know, and as we understand about regeneration, you know, everybody is here again to bethink themselves in this captivity. You know, so hey, you gotta repent. You gotta endure to the end as well. You know. Now I also wanted to get Uh, let me see. So like I'm thinking about a precept. So like let's go back to Revelation chapter 20. Make sure we stand on time, stand on good time. This is Revelation chapter 20 and verse 12, and it reads, "And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High God, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works." So the Lord is going to judge every man according to their works. Now let me get this in Matthew chapter 16 and 27, and we're gonna wind down a little bit more and get some of these laws and commandments, Lord willing. Now this is Matthew chapter 16 and verse 27, and it reads, "For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works." So the Lord is going to judge every man according to their works. You know, so hey, don't believe nobody when they tell you you don't have to believe. It's already paid for you. The Lord paid it all. That Christian white supremacy doctrine gotta go, man. You know, because the Messiah is telling himself that he's gonna judge a lot of people for what they've done when he comes back, and the things that they haven't done. So Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12, and it reads, Revelation 22 and 12, and it reads, "And behold, I come quickly." Now this is red letters. You know, this isn't, you know, somebody else saying this. This is the anointed himself saying this. The Son of Man himself is saying this. Revelation 22 and 12, "And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be." So the Lord is going to reward every man. So hey, we got to look at that and understand that it's not a game. It's not a joke. You know. So going back to Revelation chapter 20, and I'm gonna read verse 13, and it says, "And the sea gave up the dead." So what sea is it talking about? So let's go to Revelation chapter 17 and Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15, and it reads, Revelation chapter 17 and verse 15, what sea is it talking about? So you have to, a lot of times you got to stay in Revelation to understand a lot of things Revelation is saying. Also, you may have to link up other precepts, because like the Lord commanded us, precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So Revelation 17 and 15, and it reads, "And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." You see that? So the sea can represent people, just like a beast can represent another parable for a man, you know, being without knowledge, you know, considered like a beast and things like that, roughly paraphrasing. And so reading this one more time, going back to Revelation 20 and 13, "And the sea gave up the dead." Now I also want to get let me see, let me get this real quick in Isaiah. Let me get this in Isaiah real quick. Isaiah, let me see what Isaiah chapter 17, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. Isaiah chapter 17 and verse 12, and it reads, "Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas." You see that? So hey, the Lord, he's speaking. This is hip talk, if you can understand. You know, like I mean, you know, this is our people that wrote this. You know, the Israelites wrote this. You know, the Lord allowed the Spirit to be on the Israelites, because a lot of times how we talk now, you know, it's no different how we was talking in the days of old. You know, hip talk, like if you can understand, like I'll be over there in a minute. You know, that don't necessarily mean I'm gonna be over there in 60 seconds. You know, or he stay over yonder. What do you mean he stay over yonder? What is it? Where is over yonder? You can't go on Google Maps and type in the place yonder. You know, this is hip talk. This is how the Israelites talk. They don't a lot of people don't talk like this only but the Israelites. You know, and if you find a nation that talk like this, it's because they cleaving to an Israelite, or they may be married to an Israelite, or they may just want to act like an Israelite because they want to be an Israelite. but they not. If they not from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, so Isaiah 17 and 12 one more time, speaking on the understanding the precept in Revelation 20 and 13. Isaiah 17 and 12. Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations, that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. See that? Verse 13, Isaiah 17 and 13. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but Most High God shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. You see that? Mighty precept. And I believe Fred Hammond, a gospel singer, got a song talking about when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord will lift up a standard. You know, a lot of people know that song. That's, you know, especially them old Negro spirituals, you know, that like to sing them old spiritual songs. Now, Revelation 20 and 13, and it reads, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead. Now, we know hell is a condition, you know, and death is somewhat that's going to be playing on a higher fold from closing out the fourth seal, coming into the fifth seal, you know. So it says, and the sea gave up the dead, Revelation 20 and 13, which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Now I want to get this in Psalms 11 and 6 real quick. Psalms chapter 11 and verse 6, and it reads, it says, Psalms chapter 11 and verse 6. I'm going to start at verse 5. Psalms chapter 11 and verse 5. The Lord Yahweh tried the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence his soul hated. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. So the Lord, he's going to judge according to your works. You know, whether you was righteous, whether you was wicked. And that's, you know, that's what World War III is for. You know, World War III is for those that don't want to do what they're told to do, don't want to be obedient, you know, want to do their own thing. You know, this is why it's a beautiful thing being a part of a congregation, a camp, because brothers got to hold brothers to another standard, you know, following the scriptures, you know, doing what the scriptures tell us to do. You know, where two or three are gathered, they're the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is in the midst, you know, giving counsel, taking heed. You're not rebuking and bulking up against the counsel. Like things that was going on in the wilderness with Moses, you know, and Aaron and Miriam and Dathan and Korah and things like that. So going back to this, Revelation chapter 20 and 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Now I want to get this in Psalms real quick, because we teach that hell is a condition. Now this is Psalm chapter 18, and I'm gonna start at verse. What verse I want to start at? Psalm chapter 18, and I'm gonna start at verse 4, and it reads: Psalms 18 and 4. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. Verse 5, Psalms 18 and 5. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death perverted me, you know, prevented me, Salakia. So hell is a condition. Let me get this in Jonah 2 and 2. You know, Jonah chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 2, and it reads, it says, I'm going to start at verse 1, Jonah chapter 2 and verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord Yahweh, his most high God, out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of my affliction. So this is a place of affliction, you know. So the Lord, he's gonna raise up those that's being afflicted. He's going to raise up those that's being persecuted for righteousness, testifying on his behalf. That's why the Lord, when you read about the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, it says, blessed are those that are persecuted for righteous sake. You know, blessed are those that hunger. Blessed are those that, you know, are poor, you know. So things like that. When you read Matthew chapter 5 through the Spirit. So Jonah chapter 2 and verse 1 again. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord Yahweh, his most high God, out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord Yahweh, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. See that? So Revelation, going back to Revelation chapter 20, and I believe we covered it. I just want to make sure. Revelation chapter 20. Revelation chapter 20, verse 13, one more time. And the sea gave up the dead. That's Revelation 17 and 15. Isaiah 17, 12 and 13 on down. Talking about the nations which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. So Lord willing, this was edifying to you. We're going to go straight to the laws and commandments. I want to go to Leviticus real quick. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 25. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 25. So like Leviticus chapter 25. And this is verse 39. So like Leviticus 25 and 39. And it reads, and if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant, but as an hired servant, and as a sojourner he shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. And the year of Jubilee, as we've known according to the Torah, the so-called Tanakh, you know, the law of Moses, you know, was where you were released according to that 7th year, you know. And on the spiritual level, the Lord is going to allow, you know, that 7th year for us to be free from this captivity, from this oppression, you know. That's why when you read Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, and no man shall buy thee. The Lord, when he come back, he's going to redeem us, you know. So Leviticus 25 and 41. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as a bondman. So you may have people that may say, hey, we've sold each other in slavery. You know, the white man isn't the only one that sold us. We sold each other. You know, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, because according to the law, statutes, and commandments, we're not supposed to sell ourselves. You know, but according to redeeming your brother, making sure your brother comes up, because we supposed to be our brother's keeper, like it says in Genesis chapter 4. You know, but instead, like it says in 1 John chapter 3, paraphrasing, you know, we've allowed things to be done, and we're doing the same thing that Cain was doing, killing our brother, you know. But instead, we're supposed to be our brother's keeper, you know. So we're supposed to help our brother come up. You know, we see our brother doing bad. Back in the day, we seen our brother doing bad. Hey, we was helping them. We was restoring them and their family, you know. Now, let me get this in Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 12. Gotta hurry up because we gotta go to camp through the Spirit of Prophet Yahushua. Deuteronomy chapter 15 and verse 12, and it reads, and if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith the Lord Yahweh thy Most High God had blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. Verse 15, Deuteronomy 15 and 15, and thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord Yahweh thy Most High God redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. So we love each other. We building each other up. We restoring each other. You know, even like it says, we're not supposed to lend usury. You know, and it says it right here in Leviticus 25 and 36, meaning we not supposed to get a come up off our brothers and sisters, not supposed to charge them extra. You know, you can only do that to the nations, those that aren't Israelites. So going down right here, Leviticus, going back to Leviticus 25 and Leviticus 25 and 42, and it says, for they are my servants, talking about the Israelites, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Verse 43, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy Most High God. So hey, you can't rule over your brother with rigor if you was restoring him for them 7 years. Verse 44, Leviticus 25 and verse 44. But it says, so like, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen. So the Lord said that we can have, as Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we can have slaves, which are of the other nations, the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Girgashites, the Philistines, you know, the Amalekites. We, the Israelites, can have heathens as our slaves, you know. It says, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen, meaning slave men, and bondmaids, and slave women. Verse 45, Leviticus 25 and 45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. See that? So Lord willing, this was edifying to you. Call Lord Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh. Peace and blessing to you. Lord willing, you have a mighty Sabbath through the spirit of power of Yahweh, fishing of Zion. Don't count this a light thing to do. Peace and blessings to you. All praises, glory, honor to Yahweh in the name of his son Yahweh Shah. Call Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh.